Can you introduce yourself and what you study right now?
I'm Devinda Perera and I'm a third year engineering student.
So Devinda, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when the word Black July pops up?
For me, it probably was when I was a child and growing up at Sunday lunches or lunches with family. They'd talk about it sometimes, like they talk about it as like hero stories of people escaping the violence and trying just to get to safety. And I think specifically there were a few stories that came up here, and then I come from a mixed race background where my mother's father was Sinhalese and my mother's mother was Tamil. And when the riot started happening, all her siblings, that being 10 of them, were housed at her house for the duration of it. Because, yeah. And additionally, there was a story where when my grandmother was in hospital, as in when she was working in an hospital, one of her secondaries who was Sinhalese got her a cab because she heard what was happening and made sure she got home safely. I think that was mainly my introduction to what Black July was, and then mutterings that happened throughout.
Do you think that there is enough conversation, especially among the youth, in regards to Black July? Do you think that you can have like a deep conversation with just another person about the topic?
I feel like in certain situations you can approach it, especially if you know the person you're talking to is open to discussing something that is that intense and that hard to talk about. But I feel like for the most part it's difficult to approach because there is so much intensity that's brought along with it from both sides. And some people are traumatized by it, some people don't want to think about it. So approaching it to begin with is difficult in normal conversation.
Do you think it's a tough topic, obviously, but do you think it's necessary that we talk about it? Does talking about those past memories help with peace building in the future?
They do. Acknowledging that something happened is the first point of moving forward and discussing why it happened, and from discussing why it happened, discussing how you can prevent it. And if more people are engaged in that conversation, you're getting more viewpoints as to how you can build and basically understand how it happened.
Devinda, you said that you learned about this through conversations with your parents and family. Was that the only way you had information about it? And do you think that was enough?
That was the only way I had information about it. And I feel like for something that is so like a big part of not just one community but the whole country as a whole, there should have been more conversation and more information freely available to people, especially in like books, education, and not even just at that level in terms of talking about it, even maybe in the news. It's so hard to find information about it. And yeah, I feel like that is incredibly important for people to understand how to rebuild and how to move forward with something that was such a big problem.